So, Craig, I dedicated today's top 5 to you, my friend, because you did mention what you did earlier on the show last week about how, you know what, like, you don't have to be a pro team's ever done anything for you. I mean, they're not doing anything. And then Dan Snyder has effectively ended your Washington fandom. Heck, the name's even different. So now is as good a time and with as good a reason to jump ship as anybody. Now, I know that you probably won't pick another NFL team, but I thought it would be a fun exercise to go through and give you options in case you wanted to.
All right. Yep.
So let me preface this by saying I put more thought into this than I probably should have, but I had some time during the day today, and idle hands are the devil's workshop. So I'll start off by saying, look, there's 31 NFL teams that Craig could get, and I had to whittle this down to 5. So immediately I eliminated 15 teams, and that would be the rest of the NFC, because the NFC East is out. Because you can't do that. Like, that's just, the NFC North doesn't have teams that you would really want to jump on the bandwagon. Plus, and even if you want to jump on with the Packers, your personality and Aaron Rodgers, to me, doesn't jive enough for you to really jump there. The NFC South, the Buccaneers would be a front running, which is not your personality at all. And then, the entire staff of the Carolina Panthers, but to jump on that team that could get fired.
For now,
then that's it. Okay. And then the NFC West, your personality doesn't line up with San Francisco or Seattle. Los Angeles just won the Super Bowl, so that's also front running. So I had to eliminate all them. And then the owners in the Arizona give me a little bit of a Dan Snyder light feel at times. So we're into the AFC. So here's what I came up with. Top 5 teams for Craig. Number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. And people don't know this about Craig because Craig's not a braggadocious individual or someone who does this, but Craig actually covered Patrick Mahomes in high school and broadcast his games and probably talked to him more than anybody on the broadcast because he was the sideline reporter. So I would think it would be a natural step over. Kansas City's got a nice warm fan base. They seem to have a good time. I know you only got to spend like 30 hours there when you went to the city for the Big 12 tournament, but the Kansas City Chiefs is my first pitch.
I think this would definitely classify as front running though, because of their success. But I actually, I really was like a kind of a Chiefs fan at one point when Joe Montana was there. I mean, I was still a Redskins fan, but I played on a Pop Warner team called the Chiefs, and Joe Montana was one of my favorite players, and he went to the Chiefs at the same time. And that I was like, that's my AFC team.
Yeah.
And that didn't last very long. He was gone shortly after, and so was my fandom, and I was never on the Chiefs again. But yeah, I mean, the front running aside, I'm a big fan of Patrick Mahomes, the human being as well as the player. And I was very fortunate to see him before a lot of people knew who he was outside of East Texas, and to see where he is now is incredible. So yeah, I could definitely root for them.
All right, number 4. The Tennessee Titans, great city, Nashville. They've got cool players like Derrick Henry right now. The coach Mike Vrabel's kind of a chill dude, even though he's in the Belichick tree. He seems kind of fun. Ownership is pretty bland as the owners go, which I think is a good thing. They try to win all the time. They're aggressive, and this is kind of a wild card. This is maybe the safe pick right here, the Tennessee Titans.
Okay. I think the Chiefs would be above them, and not even just because of the winning. I just prefer kind of the other, I guess, intangibles with the Chiefs, from Mahomes to just the color scheme and things like that. But Tennessee's just, I don't know. I don't really have a strong feeling for them one way or the other. So yeah, I mean they'd be kind of a wild card.
They're
just kind of there.
They're your safety school. I get it. Like I'll ask this girl if the hot one doesn't tell me yes. Yeah, that kind of a thing. That was
if they were the Oilers, I'd be more apt to root for them. Honestly.
Yeah, I took the Texans out of it because come on. I mean.
Yeah, I don't want to root for the Texans.
No. Number 3. The Baltimore Ravens. See, Smokey, this one I think is easy because you just move right across the border into Maryland, and the Ravens are the exact opposite of what Washington is. They have a really brilliant owner who's really consistent. They draft well. They sign good free agents. They don't mess around. their owner talks to people. He's good in the community. People love him. If he asks them for a new stadium, do you want 4 new stadiums? You can play. You can just rotate through them. We'll give them wherever you want. The city of Baltimore loves them. So this one to me, and they're just kind of a common sense team. Like they do things based on common sense, which is how Craig, his whole life experience is. He's very much driven by common sense and not wild fits of emotion. So I thought the Ravens were a good fit for him.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a team I would have no problem rooting for. I do feel as though I'll have a hard time ever really jumping onto somebody in real life and just becoming a fan. But if I had to, the Chiefs would be a great choice. But yeah, I have nothing but immense respect for the Ravens organization and how they operate. And you're right when you say they're basically the complete 180 from Washington and how they operate in every pretty much single way that I can think of, from draft to just ownership and all that, and I don't know their whole history, so I'm sure there's something I'm probably missing. But yeah, I have nothing but immense respect for the Ravens, and it would have made my fandom a whole lot easier if that just would have been the side that my great grandmother Mamie, what is my relation to her? Yeah, my great grandmother would have picked if they would have been around at that time, maybe she would have been a Ravens fan, but alas.
Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. Look, in the glory days of the Washington Redskins, the vibe of the fans seems to me to jive with Bills Mafia a little bit. And they're a fun team to root for. The people love them. The city is small as NFL cities go. Ownership that cares. They're doing everything they can to make their fan experience cool. I think kind of another team that's opposite of Washington, even though they had kind of a long drought for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of respect for Buffalo as well. And, here they are. They're back and as relevant as ever right now. And definitely grew up, would not have wanted to be a Bills fan just because of the heartache that came with that at the end of the year 4 times. But, they're an institution and a great fan base, like you said. I don't know about the cold weather. I don't jive with that very well, but I think I don't really have a choice because KC's cold, Washington, Baltimore, all that. But yeah, I feel like I'd be front running a little bit here as well. If I would have picked them up like 5 years ago, that would have been a great future move. Yeah. But now I do feel a little guilty about front running.
A team to be named later.
Yeah, exactly.
And number 1, and Smokey, I think you can agree with me on this one. This is the LA Chargers. Craig is just most relaxed that we've ever seen him when we're in Southern California. Yep. They're not the Rams. They're a young team that's on the rise. JT
great
quarterback, great quarterback.
Actually.
I mean, this is a team that, I can see, look, color scheme's cool and different. Yeah. And, look, the owner, Dean Spanos, up and down. But overall, I think the Chargers for you is a nice fit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of them. I thought you were going to put probably the Jaguars on here because of Tony Khan, but that would be the wrong time. He cannot run a wrestling promotion. But anyways, LA Chargers. That's not somebody I necessarily would have thought of right away, but I'm with you from the color scheme to the location to JT Woods, being a big fan of his. Great young quarter. Yeah, the Chargers would be a very good choice for me to switch my fandom if I were to do such a thing.
Yeah, you're moving all the way across the country. Mm-hmm. Everything's different.
I do feel better when I'm out on the West Coast. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But that's all very good. I do like those choices, Paul, and who knows? But I am definitely. I don't know if I'll have a new team that I root for, but I am so just not on board with Daniel Snyder and his ownership of Washington right now. I'm so over it. But we do need to mention before we go.
Yeah, in fact,